Hello, how are we doing today in this beautiful Saturday? I know that I am doing okay. I am enjoying Saturday. Today we have a rainy day, so it has cooled off a bit. So today I want to speak about healthy habits. And my name is Judith Mendoza. I am a behavior consultant and educator. And so, as everyone else, I am going online with what I do. And so, I am providing education completely online learning due to COVID-19. Of course, it is the same quality education and guidance. And so I concentrate on physical and nutrition care and education and coaching. But also I concentrate in guidance, business guidance, and also personal guidance and education. And I have different courses, and the physical activity plus nutrition care will guide you into how to take care of yourself, of your body, and what is effective and what is not when it comes to nutrition. And of course, my education is not concentrating in as how others may do. I concentrate on the whole person and taking into consideration nutrition as what we are supposed to be having for our bodies because of the need of it. So learning our makeup, our physical makeup referring to the buildup of our body, not makeup that we use for the face. So our physical makeup or construction, the way that we are made, the way that we are built, if we don't know the function of it, then we will not give the importance to the nutrition that we need to have for it. So I have a course on that, and also when it comes to social communication and skills acquiring, this can be for children and adults. And then also a course on fashion and style, right? Our clothing speaks for us. So not in the manner that those in the autism spectrum disorder may do, but in the manner that our appearance is part of our identity. So today is healthy habits and reality check sessions with Judith Mendoza. And I am a behavior consultant and educator. When it comes to business, I concentrate in ethics for business and customer service principles, acquiring those for those in the business. And so my website is at insightfulinfo.squaresite. So insightfulinfo.square.site. All right, so I wanted to speak in regards to a post that I saw, a video that I saw that it was very interesting. It was funny, hilarious. I found it hilarious. but it seems simple, right? And this was posted by at Steve Stu Will. So at S as in Sam, T as in Thomas, E, V as in Victor, E, S as in Sam, T as in Thomas, U, W, I, L, L. So that was in Twitter, right? And the video is a YouTube video, and it's about some kids. They are facing a window. They are lined up in pairs. The boys are in the front. The girls are in the back. And they are exercising. And there is a sequence that they're supposed to follow, right? So, or not necessarily, right? Because they are exercising. So it is not a big deal that they are sequenced and tuned to move their leg up and down at the same time. So they are exercising, they are having fun, they are not performing for anyone. But the hilarious part is that you can see the boys are not synchronized at all. They're just doing what they're told, exercise in a certain way. They are lifting their legs, but the girls are all synchronized. They are lifting their legs, and they lift their legs. It seems that the same leg they all are lifting at the same time. There's nothing wrong with it, right? I wanted to explain that. There's nothing wrong with that. They are doing exercise. There's basically there's no rule as to how you should do that, unless you are performing and you must be synchronized, or else it will look like something else is going on. So I wanted to point that out, that the hilarious part is that you can tell that the boys, right? Boys will be boys. So the boys are just doing what they're supposed to do. That's it. And the girls also, right? But they're synchronized. So that's the funny part in that. And so I wanted to point out that when it comes to boys and girls, right, especially at an early age, we are different, right? Girls show to be different. We're more detailed, more into our feelings, and we tend to handle situations when it comes to also our feelings. Now, when it comes to that, and today's session is Healthy Habits Reality Check Sessions with Judith Mendoza, right? And so I had seen the news, the posts in regards to Chadwick Boseman, who died at 43 due to colorectal cancer, right? So that was something that I wanted to speak about today in regards to healthy habits, because also when it comes to male men and female women, we are also different when it comes to taking care of ourselves and our health, right? So men can feel, well, I am healthy, I feel healthy, there's nothing wrong with me. So they male men, they tend to be less detailed, less caring with their bodies. They feel that maybe it is a weakness if one complains about self and one gets sick, or one wants to go to the doctor. Men feel that, some men, right? Not everyone. And that is the case for everything in life when it comes to humans. The majority, right? Because some do care about their health. But some men may feel that it is a weakness for them to go to the doctor, and so they don't. For whatever reason, they don't. So but what is it, right? So I was thinking about it because I had someone close to me that died also, younger than this one over here, than Chadwick, and he died of also colon cancer. And so what are the causes of it? So according to what I found out, it says that the exact cause of colorectal cancer is not known, but certain risk factors are strongly linked to the disease, including diet, tobacco, smoking, and heavy alcohol use. Right? So those are some of it, but also people with certain hereditary cancer syndromes or a family history of colorectal cancer have a high risk of developing the disease. Right? So we have to remember, we are made up of cells. We make situations worse for us when we are deficient of nutrients that help our cells renovate and get rid of bad cells, dying cells. So then, right, that is one of the cancers that exist. I remember a long time ago, some years ago, when cancer was just being found out as something that was killing people. And of course, from then until now, there has been much that has been done in regards to knowledge, acquiring knowledge of what cancer is and how it affects people. So we have much data in regards to this, right? So those who are at risk are both men and women equally, right? So what is the colon? Well, the colon cancer and polyps, right, can be in the intestine, of course, right? So okay, so what are the symptoms, right? Let's go to that first. What are the symptoms? The symptoms, according to what they have found out, can be any major change in bowel habits, So you can find blood in the stool that is either bright red, black, or tarry. So are you checking? When you go to the bathroom, are you checking what color, what's coming out of you? Sometimes we don't want to look at our poop, right? But we should, and we shouldn't be embarrassed of it either. It's a natural process of the body. We eat, we digest it, we process it in our stomachs, and then it comes out as waste. We shouldn't be afraid of our stool, and we shouldn't be afraid of what we just ate. So what we should do is check what color is poop, the poop that you're pooping. What color is it? And also, if it floats in the water, it can be also a problem. So you have to be checking that. And also unintentional weight loss. That is something that happens, that you don't want to lose the weight. You're not trying, but you're losing the weight. And also stools that are narrower than usual, right? So babies, as you know, they eat and they poop everything that they ate, right? So from there you can check that if later on as an adult your poop is a different size, it has diminished in size, if you were checking, or if you're checking, or you should be checking, then you should go to your doctor and have a checkup. But there are also things that you can do in the way that you're eating. If you're eating things, because you have to think about how does the intestine work? How is it shaped? When we are babies, the process of eating is we eat and we poop. We drink water and it comes out as urine. And so we have to, the process should stay that way. But as we get older, our body decays, right? Our body goes through the process of aging. And so we lose a lot of things that the body needs in order for to stay elastic. So we lose elasticity in the body. We can gain water. There are things that we may eat that may cause our body to be inflamed, swollen, that we may not even notice. We may be trying to lose weight, but we are unable to lose weight. We look puffy anyways. And that can be deficiencies of vitamin B12. Maybe you have noticed in me, and I wanted to point this out, right? Because I looked at my older videos, and what happened is that I take the vitamins that I'm supposed to be taking, but sometimes I forget. And sometimes I forget to the point that it's been weeks and So I have been taking my vitamin D, my omega, my vitamin E, my vitamin C. I usually also drink lemon by itself, one lemon by itself, like maybe every day, and take the vitamin C also, because my blood is very thick, and so we need it. We need the acids in our bodies, right? So, and I'm taking all my vitamins that I need, my biotin, my omega-3, my little piece of zinc that I take, my vitamin E, my vitamin C, my lemon every day. I take my garlic not every day, but maybe twice a week, 3 times a week it should be. And I take my magnesiums at night, right? I take the Epsom salt a little bit sometime, maybe once a week, which cleanses also the body. In some people it may cause diarrhea, but if you take only a little spoon of it mixed with water, it won't do that. So I'm taking my vitamins that I want to take, right? And I take magnesium at night because you go to sleep, you feel relaxed, which is the purpose of it. It helps maintain the nervous system, so these minerals help. And so I have forgotten to be taking my vitamin B12, and I take the complex also. This is a deficiency that is hereditary for me. So I was swollen. If you can see my face, it looks different. I was taking all the vitamins. I was taking the vitamin D. I was taking all the vitamins that I mentioned, but I had forgotten to take in my vitamin B12, the B complex, because I take the complex, but also I take the extra B12 because I am deficient of it, and it's hereditary. It doesn't seem, for me, I have to take these supplements because it is not enough. It wasn't enough in the past. When I was eating properly, I do have to take the supplements. For some people it might not be, but the way that food is being processed now, the way that we're living life, always in the go, always in the hurry, it is best that we take the supplements. And so my physical and nutrition care has to do with this, with education and physical activity, which we needed. Hydration also. So what happened is that if you're deficient from this vitamin B12, and this is how I collect my data, my personal data, because we all are producing data. So it's not just what is being studied or the studies that are done by companies that are selling products, or companies that are doing the collection of this data in regards to learning how the human function, so that they can provide better care. But also we ourselves, if we are noticing, which we should be, right? We should be noticing ourselves and how you're being affected by everything, including what we're eating when we're not sleeping. So we can compare how we are doing with whatever is the data that is available, and say, well, this is what has happened to me, and we can understand data better, medical data. So I was swollen, and I was very weak, to the point that I felt, and this was around July, the beginning of July, and I felt depressed. I started to feeling depressed. And there was one thing that had happened to me, right? And I thought that it was because of that I felt depressed about the situation. But usually, I feel depressed about something, and then I just snap out of it, and I say, you know what, let's move on, and let's learn from this, and let's see what other way we can go. And that's what I do for myself, right? So and that's what I do. But I felt that I was in that situation longer than it should have been, until I felt very, very sick. I felt nauseous. I felt very tired, like I was going to pass out. I felt horrible, like I was dying. And I remember, I usually also, which is connected, it is connected with my pressure is always low. I am diabetic, so I'm thinking my sugar is low. Well, I had a little bit of chocolate. It wasn't that. Then I thought my sugar is low. Okay, it wasn't that. I thought, okay, my pressure must be low. Then I had a little bit of salt, which if you have you feel that your pressure is down, then just a little bit of salt, and that will make you feel better. That made me a little bit better, feel a little bit better, get the nauseous feeling out from my mouth. I was still feeling horrible after a few hours. And then I remember I haven't taken my vitamin B12, my B complex, and that was it. I took one of the vitamins, and I immediately felt happy. I wasn't feeling happy anymore. I was feeling not kind of anxious, because the vitamin B12 helps with that. Well, and I'm taking my magnesium. I sleep good at night because of the magnesium and the melatonin that I take at night, about 2 hours before I go to sleep. But I felt sad. Whatever you're feeling when you're feeling depressed, that's what I was feeling. And of course, when you're feeling that way, your thinking goes into that notion of whatever happened, and you go around the situation and you stay around in the situation. And I'm thinking, it can't be that sad that I am still stuck into whatever happened to me, and I'm still sad about that, right? Because usually I'm happy and sparkly, and usually I even say now, I wish I could be sad. I wish I could cry, because I feel good. after taking my vitamins that I need. So it was that I was swollen, and I'm looking at my face, and I'm thinking, there's something going on, but I didn't remember also. And that is also something because the vitamin B12 help with the production of cells, of your red cells, your blood. So we have no blood in our system, which I have always had blood disorders also, and most likely it was because of that. Usually back then I didn't believe in these vitamins and supplements. I will think that my body produces it, the food that I eat, but I'm not eating anything that will produce any vitamins or minerals. We don't produce minerals. We must intake those. And omega-3, the body doesn't produce it. Vitamin B12, the body doesn't produce it. So we must intake these things. And we must be eating properly in order for us to do that. And if we're not, then we should take the supplements. So you can see that my face is different. My body also. It is like I have lost weight. But no. It was that I was swollen. And for us women, it's even more noticeable because our body makeup is different. Women and men bodies are different. Women's body are more water. Men's body are more muscles. The muscles in the men are different than in the women. So when it comes to being swollen, it's more noticeable in us women, but it looks like we're fat. And that is why sometimes you're eating properly, you're having diets, and your diets are not working because maybe you are not having these vitamins, these nutrients, which the food is also, the vitamins are also nutrition. So I even look younger. That's what I'm seeing when you compare it with my other videos that I did. And I forget. And the point is that if I forget 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, I forget 3 days or more because of the lack of oxygen inside of my body, I start forgetting. And I completely forgot to take it. And so for some, maybe that's not the situation for everybody, but for some, we may forget these things. And so when it comes to taking care of ourselves, of what we're eating, maybe we don't want to hear, and this is the reality check, right? We don't want to hear about these things that we have to do in order to take care of ourselves. The reality is that we have to. The reality is that we're aging, we're getting older. And if we have a lifestyle that we are always on the go, then you're malnutritioned. It doesn't matter how much money you have, if you are not taking care of yourself, eating properly, hydrating, you're malnutritioned. And so when it comes to this colorectal cancer, right? It begins in taking care of our cholesterol, not eating so much fried foods or fatty foods, just a little bit maybe of oil, using olive oil, which is healthier. And then in regards to colon cancer, it is a type of cancer that begins in the large intestine or colon, right? So colon refers to large intestine. The colon is the final part of the digestive tract. So you know how it is, the larger intestine goes around, it's like a square, and then the little point, right? So colon cancer typically affect older adults, though it can happen at any age, right? And that is this information I will be posting, and this is according to the Mayo Clinic. So we have the intestine, right? It looks like, and it goes down to the rectum, right? So it begins with the little tail, right? And that is called the cecum, right? It begins with a little tail, and then it goes up with the ascending colon, and then it goes like this, like a hammock, and that is the colon. And then it goes down the descending colon, and then it does a little, another hammock style. That's the sigmoid colon. And then we have going down to what's the rectum, right? So the large intestine is referred as to the colon. So the whole thing, ascending, descending, colon on the top. So we have to be taking care of what we're eating. If we're eating a lot of fats, if we are not intaking if we're not intaking the vitamins, supplements, minerals, antioxidants that we need. Vitamin E is an antioxidant. It helps protect how we function. And then Mayo Clinic says that colon cancer typically affects older adults, though it can happen at any age, of course. So it usually begins as a small, non-cancerous, benign clumps of cells called polyps. And guess what? Vitamin D3, vitamin D, helps with how our cells are working inside of us. Vitamin B12 affects the way that we function in our intestine also. And so he mentions and usually the way that you can tell by yourself, for yourself, is that sometimes, depending on if we are deficient of vitamin D3, is that not is sometimes, but it most of the time, and usually all the time, it happens that if we are deficient from vitamin D3, we will scar very easily in our skin. And that is how you can tell, because we will form scars that even if you touch your skin, like some people like to pull their pimples out, which they shouldn't do that. but they do. And then it leaves a dark mark inside of the in the skin. And so the skin is being injured and it's not healing properly. When you take vitamin D3, that will start to clear up, to go away. So vitamin D3 has receptors, or our cells, all of our cells have receptors in our body for vitamin D3, all of our cells. And when we don't take this, as we get older, especially now in COVID-19 that we are inside, or people who work inside all the time, people that are inside all the time for whatever reason, like those who are in jail also, they can suffer mental disorders, or their mental disorders can get even worse because of the lack of vitamin D3, but also the lack of other vitamins, as I mentioned, vitamin B12, vitamin E, magnesium at night, melatonin at night. And so Mayo Clinic continues, and it says that polyps may be small and produce few, if any, symptoms. For this reason, doctors recommend regular screening tests to help prevent colon cancer by identifying and removing polyps before they turn into cancer. Right? So with that, it should be good that you intake vitamin D3 every day, vitamin B12 or B complex, vitamin E, vitamin C, magnesium at night so that you can sleep better. And the symptoms and signs of colon cancer can include a persistent change in your bowel habits, including diarrhea or constipation. It can be either or a change in the consistency of your stool, right? So it can be smaller, or it can be have blood in it, or if it floats also in the water. Rectal bleeding or blood in your stool, that can happen. Persistent abdominal discomfort such as cramps, gas, or pain, right? A feeling that your bowel doesn't empty completely. Weakness or fatigue. Unexplained weight loss, right? So not going to the bathroom, having diarrhea or constipation, being irregular, having blood disorders, being swollen in the body, right? Not losing weight even if you're trying, all could be related to deficiency in the vitamin B12, the B12. But also it have to do with our cells. We're made up of cells, so all of these vitamins will help with that. And so in regards to the causes, right? So is it genetic? Is it hereditary? So it mentions that approximately 5 to 10% of colon cancer is hereditary. So 5 to 10% can be hereditary. And the major hereditary colon cancer syndromes are Lynch syndrome, previously known as hereditary non-polyposis colorectal cancer. And also there is the familial adenomatous polyposis. And other genes have also been implicated in hereditary colon cancer risk. Vitamin B12 help with the composition of our DNA, our genes. So even I mentioned that even if you're looking for a culprit when it comes to those with the autism spectrum disorder, it can be that this can be the culprit, that women are deficient of these nutrients at the time of conception. And of course, the brain is the first one to form inside the belly. And so by that time, they get the care that they need. The body needs time for it to process all these nutrients, and it can take maybe 6 to a year in order for the body the body of the woman that's pregnant, or the body of any human, for us to intake and process these nutrients, these minerals, these antioxidants in our body. So it is not a cure. It is part of what we need in order to function, in order to live, right? Because people like to shy away from vitamins and supplements and minerals, not having understanding that this is what the body is needing. This is the body's composition. We're composed of these things, so we need them in our body, right? It's like oil. Hello. Today I am not doing spiritual matters. Today someone says hello, pastor, and I am an ordained minister, not a pastor. I am an ordained minister and one of Jehovah's Witnesses. But today I am doing my secular work, which is that I am a behavior consultant and educator, and providing education today is healthy habits, physical nutrition care. And so I have to specify that, because of course online you never know, you can confuse both of them, right? But I set a time for spiritual things, and that is that is Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. That's for the spiritual matters. But today is education in regards to physical and nutrition care, and today is healthy habits. I am a behavior consultant and educator. That is my secular work, right? And so, as I was explaining, we have to take care of ourselves. Adults have the responsibility to take care of themselves. Children are unable to take care of themselves. Their parents have to take care of them, right? The parents have to help them form healthy habits. And so, what else I wanted to mention in regards to this colon? Okay, so yes, I wanted to mention the stages of cancer, because just as any other cancer, there is the different cancers. So there's the stage 0, and that is called in situ, and this is according to cancer.net. So Okay, so they have the staging system. This is and I will post this to this recording, and so it's according to cancer.net, and they have the staging system, which there is the T for tumor, the N for node, and the M for metastasis. So the tumor is grown into the wall of the colon. Okay, then the node spreads to the lymph nodes, and then the M, metastasis, is okay. So the metastasis is that the cancer has spread to other parts of the body. Right? So those are known as that: the tumor, the node, and the metastasis. Then we have that the tumor of it can be TX for the primary tumor, cannot be evaluated yet, right? So cannot be evaluated yet. And those are cells that are becoming damaged. So we need to supplement in order to maintain our cells working properly inside of our cells, healthy. And then we have the T+0. That is, there is no evidence of cancer in the colon or rectum. The TIS refers to carcinoma in situ, so also called cancer in situ. And cancer cells are found only in the epithelium or lamina propria, which are the top layers lining inside of the colon or rectum. T1 is the tumor has grown into a soft mucosa. So it takes time for it to develop. And the thing is that that it starts becoming, I'm trying to picture something in order to compare, and you can compare to an iron rod, right? An iron rod, and then you put a little bit of water into it, and then what happens? It starts to rust out, right? So the same thing happens in our body with our cells. It can be that we can not even see it. We don't feel sick yet. And also because, remember, our body, we have our immune systems that are trying to protect us, not just trying, protect us. So in this time, maybe we don't realize that we are getting sick, right? But we are deficient, we're getting older, our body is going through that deficiency that we have in our body, and so the end of it is going to be damage somewhere, more damage that we're going to be able to see and experience. So cancer is this, that we have damaged cells. And depending on, for example, maybe some people might not get colon cancer, but they might get cancers somewhere else, and especially also if these are hereditary. But not intaking the vitamin B12 will make it a worse situation, or the other vitamins that I mentioned. And so we have the T1, T2, T3, T4, T4A, and T4B, right? And T4 is the stage T4B is the stage where the tumor has grown into or has attached to other organs or structures. So it's spreading. So this can be like gangrene, right? That you can see it on the outside. That is just killing the flesh, killing our cells, right? That's what happens with gangrene, but it happening in the inside. So becomes cancer. So taking these things that will help, and not as medicine, but as part of what our body needs to function. And you have to think about, I was going to mention the example in regards to a car. A car comes with water, comes with oil, comes with brake fluid, comes with new tires, comes with new brake pads, comes with all these things that is able to function. But then the use of it, right? You use the car. What happens? What happens if you don't put water into the car? If you don't check to make sure that you have water or oil, brake fluid, or check your brake pads. I mean, all of it can cause a whole damage to the car that will make it not function or not function properly if you don't check it, if you just leave it. And one day it might just leave you on the road because if it doesn't have no water, then it won't go anywhere, right? If it dry out. So we have to see it in that way, because sometimes, you know, you take your car to the to get tune up, right? But what about you? Do you get your tune up? So we have to think about it in that way. Our life is very precious. Our life is a gift. So we must appreciate it and try to do as much as we can, because some things are mentioned that are hereditary, and so, well, you know, they're passed on to us, but we can do much about it, right? Also, intake and other things that we need in our body. And so that was today's topic, right, that I wanted to mention. My name is Judith Mendoza, and today I am doing secular work, education. I am doing this as charity work, right, because I am doing this out of my own initiative. I am not getting paid or endorsed or somehow attributed something in order for me to do this. This is education for others, imparting my knowledge and imparting the way that I do when it comes to physical and nutrition care, right? And so tomorrow I also do provide autism awareness, education, and mentoring. And so I have been thinking about, and I might start tomorrow, I don't know, I am not sure yet, but I wanted to start a class for those who are in the autism spectrum disorder. I might start tomorrow, right? And so if not, then I will be speaking on another topic in regards to autism awareness, education, and mentoring. So that also I do out of my own initiative. And if you want to donate to me, Judith Mendoza, then you can do so. I have mentioned my website, insightfulinfo.square.site. You can visit my website, my web space, and see what I do in there. But on Sundays I want to make this in regards to autism awareness, and so I call that section that I do, that session that I do, social well-being, right? Because autism has to do with society. When I speak about social, I am speaking about society, humans in general, and how we get along with one another, which is very important. So I donate my time, I donate my knowledge, my education, and imparting it to others, as I am doing today. And so tomorrow I will do that, and most likely I will complete what I'm doing in regards to how I am going to present the information, right? Because I want to present it in a way that can be understood for those in the autism spectrum disorder, and for those who are family members of those who are in the autism spectrum disorder, and of course including my own personal experience when it comes to having family members who are in the spectrum, autism spectrum disorder, right? And so that was it for today. Today's topic was healthy habits, keep them in mind, and reality check also with Judith Mendoza. Have a beautiful Saturday.